Well, Mark Zuckerberg is building a wall, but not the wall that posts, the wall that you see in your Facebook feed. This is a wall that his Hawaiian neighbors are not happy about.
Did you know that according to news sources, 15 billionaires have started building massive underground bunkers just recently? Before we get into today's video, I did want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you got to get outside. It has still been freezing here in Florida. It is bonkers to me. I mean, we've had some cold stints before, but nothing like this. I'm just hoping that it kills all the mosquitoes so next year we don't have a really bad bug year. But anyways, I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. So I'm excited to do this video because I really like digging into stuff like this. And when I heard that Mark Zuckerberg was building allegedly, let me just throw this out here real quick. All this video is alleged. I pull my information from very, very, very public news sources. I don't know any of these people. I'm not a professional. Go do your own research, form your own opinions. But when I heard that Mark Zuckerberg was investing about $250 million in an underground bunker, my ears perked up. And then as I began to dig into it, I found out more. So we're going to talk about that today. Before we get into it though, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon is for 18 and up. Over there, we just talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. And I have a $2 tier where all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies, that goes over on my Patreon. And make sure you guys read the About section and what each tier offers before you join. I also am on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and I'm on Like to Know It now. And on Like to Know It is where you can find links to my favorite items, clothing, shoes, workout gear, stuff like that. That's linked into my Like to Know It. That is linked in my Like to Know It. And all of those are linked down in the description box if you want to come and check me out. So let's start by talking about Mark Zuckerberg, who I am going to call Zuckerberg most of the time, because if I say Mark, who is Mark? It's Zuckerberg to all of us. Okay, so now according to Wikipedia, Mark Zuckerberg is an American businessman and a philanthropist. He co-founded the social media platform Facebook with his Harvard roommates back in 2004 and its parent company, Meta, that he is the executive chairman and he's a controlling shareholder of it. Now, back in 2004, when Zuckerberg launched Facebook, it was originally only available at select college campuses. However, it quickly blew up everywhere and expanded to over 1 billion users by 2012. And I just do not think that these college students by any means could have foreseen what this Facebook would have accomplished. And by 2007, Zuckerberg was the world's youngest self-made billionaire at that time. In 2016, Zuckerberg was ranked number 10 on the Forbes list of the world's most powerful people. Not just the richest person, but number 10 on the world's most powerful people. Yes. And the Forbes 400 list of richest Americans in 2023, Zuckerberg was number 8 with a personal wealth of $106 billion. This is just what we know. Okay. This was 2023, last year, as of me filming this, at $106 billion. And as of February of this year, not even a year later, Zuckerberg's net worth, according to what we allegedly know, is now estimated at $167 billion, now making him the 4th richest person in the world. So I have my my thoughts about the richest people in the world, and I definitely don't think they are on a list of 1 to 10 on Google. But as of what we're talking about, and we know here, just according to this information, Zuckerberg went from last year, 2023, being the 8th richest person to now the 4th in less than a year. He went from 8 to 4 in less than a year. Now, Zuckerberg's prominence in the technology industry has prompted a lot of political and legal attention over the years, and the founding of Facebook got Zuckerberg in multiple lawsuits regarding the creation and ownership of the website, as well as issues of users' privacy. 6 days after the website launched, 3 Harvard seniors named Cameron, Tyler, and Diva accused Zuckerberg of intentionally misleading them into believing that he would help them build a social network called HarvardConnections.com when he was actually allegedly just using their ideas to build a competing product, Facebook. The 3 seniors complained to Harvard's newspaper, so the newspaper began the investigation, and then this is when Zuckerberg allegedly tried to convince the editors not to run the story about it. He also allegedly broke into 2 of the editors' emails accounts with private information that he got from their Facebook accounts. Now, the 3 ended up filing a lawsuit against Zuckerberg that resulted in a settlement. And the agreed settlement was for 1.2 million Facebook shares and 20 million in cash. This is just one lawsuit of many that Zuckerberg has been involved in. And you guys, when you really think about that, it kind of gives me chills just thinking about it. Because, and I'm going to say allegedly out here, allegedly, if Zuckerberg was doing these types of things way back in his college days, I don't know. You know what I mean? Just kind of seems like, oof. In 2018, Zuckerberg testified before the United States Senate Committee regarding the use of personal data by Facebook. And in 2021, Zuckerberg testified before the House Energy and Commerce Committee regarding Facebook's role in the spread of misinformation. In a current lawsuit, court documents allege that Zuckerberg's personally rejected Meta's proposals to improve teenagers' mental health. They say that he consistently fought against efforts to enhance well-being on Facebook and Instagram. Let me say that again. They say that he consistently fought against efforts to enhance well-being on Facebook and Instagram. Internal communications that was said in this lawsuit allegedly show Zuckerberg's resistance to better protect over 30 million teens on Instagram in the US, highlighting his influence on Meta's decisions that impacted billions of these users. These documents also shed light on occasional tensions between Zuckerberg and other Meta officials advocating for improved user well-being. So according to these people that are in this suit, they have tried and fought and professionally argued and tried to improve certain aspects of Facebook and Instagram, especially revolving around teens and mental health. And according to them, Zuckerberg has fought back and refused. That brings us to the video topic. Recently, it has come out that Zuckerberg and his wife had planned to build a 5,000 square foot underground shelter at his Hawaii ranch with its own energy and food supplies. It's been reported that Zuckerberg has spent almost a decade buying up land on the island for construction. Mind you guys, a 5,000 square foot underground bunker. Y'all live in a 5,000 square foot house above the ground? I don't. But this is 5,000 square foot under the ground. And allegedly in the plans, the shelter's door is made out of metal and filled in with concrete, making it seemingly blast resistant, which, I mean, it is common for things like bunkers and bomb shelters. Now, this bunker is just one part of the huge 1,400 acre compound on the island of Kauai. The planning documents that were obtained by the media show the partially complete compound is supposed to include more than a dozen buildings with at least 30 bedrooms and 30 bathrooms. It also includes 2 standalone mansions, like 2 totally different standalone mansions that are going to be connected, both of them, to tunnels that run to this 5,000 square foot bunker underground. Also in the plans, and this part actually seems pretty cool, not gonna lie, that there's gonna be 11 different tree houses, okay? And they're gonna have rope bridges that connect to each other. There is a fitness center, multiple pools, multiple saunas, hot tubs, a tennis court, guest houses, and operation buildings. These plans also reportedly show that there will be an escape hatch that can be accessed via a ladder, and that there will be cameras literally everywhere, especially in the operations buildings, where it is said that they have plans for over 20 cameras. So you guys, just in the operations building, mind you, and if there's a World War III or if there's any kind of thing like that, I hate to tell you, but people ain't coming to work, right? But just in the operations building, there's over 20 cameras. Many of the compound doors are planned to be keypad operated and soundproof. The compound is supposed to be completely like self-sufficient. It's going to have its own water tank that is supposedly 55 feet wide, the water tank, and 18 feet tall, and completely equipped with its own pump system. Now, it's not been made very clear in the planning documents what the intent of all of this is, or what the intent of this 5,000 square foot underground bunker is for. Now, when asked about it, a spokesperson for Zuckerberg and his wife said that the island of Kauai encourages homeowners to build shelters. And it is true that the country started offering residents a tax break for building hurricane-resistant safe rooms about 2 decades ago. But I think that it's safe to say that it's possible there's more to the intentions than just that. So what are their intentions? Well, another spokesperson said that Zuckerberg and his wife value spending time with their family at this ranch and in the local community, and that they are committed to preserving the ranch's natural beauty. And apparently, according
On January 9th, 2024, after 13 years of making videos, MatPat of the famous Game Theorist channel announced he was leaving YouTube, very much to the disappointment of the millions of fans he'd acquired in over a decade of making YouTube videos. Now, the thing is, he's not the only one leaving. There's Tom Scott, who's been around since 1999, Meat Canyon, an insanely talented animator, Anth Poe, a great skit actor, Seth Everman, the parody god, and more. With all these really amazing people who've made content seen and loved by millions leaving, it begs the question, why? Why does nobody want to be on YouTube anymore? Well, I went into the trouble of listening to all their goodbye videos, digging into the tiny details, and I believe I found out why. Let's dive in. Let's start with why MatPat left. And it's really straightforward. A less than ideal work-life balance. On his 666th episode, conspiracy theorists will for sure love that number, he posted the goodbye video where he explains that he'd gotten to the point where his life, with his lovely wife Steph, had become all about content.
I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content. Or I'm playing a game and I'm not thinking about what theories are going to come out of that. I miss it.
And this realization, together with the decision to quit, didn't appear out of nowhere. He says that it actually built up specifically over the past 3 years, a period in which they, him and Steph, knew they'd have to make some change. In his own words, he said,
over the last couple years, we've been staffing up so much. That's why we partnered with a larger company to help run the channels. That's why we've been spending so much time outside of this box, training up the team to make the best videos that they can.
You can also clearly see the point that he was trying to make through this specific example where he says,
I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend and we're talking about business logistics.
So yeah, the first problem with YouTube, and you'll definitely see this in some of the other goodbye stories we'll cover, is that it can consume someone's entire life. It's that demanding. Interestingly, Matt also mentioned, although in passing, that part of his reasons for leaving is that the internet's changing. He didn't go into detail about that, but I'd guess he maybe meant the change in how people consume content. It's like the entire cultural shift, particularly thanks to TikTok. I mean, even YouTube made YouTube Shorts, which is really just their version of TikTok, to try to keep its users on the platform. So in short, what Matt said is true. The internet is changing. And talking about the internet changing, one part of it is how success on YouTube has become like a literal black hole. It really just sucks people in and forcefully keeps them from escaping. I'd say that's why when a channel becomes a hit and the views and subscribers begin to grow rapidly, there's so much pressure on the creator to expand, to hire people, to double down on content, become a production house, etc. The growth just demands it. And this is what Tom Scott talked about in his goodbye video.
I know I'm incredibly lucky, but a dream job is still a job, and it's a job that keeps getting bigger and more complicated, and I am so tired.
As he shared his incredible journey from over 10 years ago, where he wasn't sure if he'd ever find success at all, he also said that it was during his success over the last few years that he felt most at a crossroads. He had to choose between being sucked into growing into the next level and being locked into a corporate-like management structure, or just pivoting back to doing creative content for fun. He, of course, chose the fun and quite fulfilling way. His argument was that while he could expand and ramp up production, he'd hate every second of it. His case is also interesting because he was so popular in the UK that even The Guardian interviewed him on his decision to quit. One interesting bit that came out of the interview was him also admitting that YouTube has changed. Remember, that's also what MatPat said. However, Scott explained further, saying that everyone I know is noticing their views slowly falling and therefore their ad revenue reducing. Going even further, he said that there's a decline in long-form viewers. There's the threat from junk zero-effort generative AI channels that are only going to get better, and the sheer mass of competing video options. I think it's going to be a difficult few years. Now, while YouTubers could be tired in general, they might also get worn out from doing a specific type of video for far too long. Tom Scott actually said exactly that. He implied that he'll not be gone for good, but instead just switch it up to different types of content that inspire him. And he's not alone in that. Hancock of Meat Canyon also said the same thing. Leaving us with a very introspective goodbye video, he explained that he really wanted to switch up the content style into stuff that's respectful or respectable and genuine. In the video, he starts with, "Things are changing, things are definitely changing."
Things are changing. Things are definitely changing. This year has been very eye-opening for me.
And then he gets more into it, stating, "I just think I can do better." He described his current content as everything that I'm making now is in service of something negative. He goes on into detail about what that means, but the gist of it is this video example, Logan Paul Steals Your Wallet, which refers to the Logan Paul crypto scam saga. He said he doesn't care much for that type of content anymore. Hancock also admitted that he'd fallen into the pressure to upload constantly and be part of the creator culture, sort of like trying to earn respect from peers in the process. Of course, in the long run, this was counterproductive and just fueled by fear and the need to keep making money. The results of it? Well, he adds that the last 4 years have been extremely draining. So he's a combination of being bored with his style of content and the general pressure that comes with YouTube. Oh, and I also think he was quite fed up because he said he's not sure when he'll come back. By now, I'm pretty sure you have a great idea of why no one wants to be on YouTube anymore. It's thanks to burnout, pressure, boredom, and a changing YouTube landscape in the form of fewer long-term video viewers, copy-paste style of content, and general competition. However, it sort of doesn't end there. A fifth reason could be a general transition in life. That's actually why Anth Po left. In his decision to leave, he said, "I've thought about it a little more, and I'm almost positive that I'm gonna quit YouTube after this whole college thing. I just need a change in my life." He'd begun his channel while in college and used it to capture a lot of what college was about in a humorous and community-focused way, like doing fun things with friends and recording them without a care in the world. As one comment on his goodbye video summed it up, "I'm just so happy I was able to join along on Anth Po's journey. Seeing him and his friends' fun experiences made me feel so much less lonely because I'd been struggling with really bad friends back then. This channel was so fun and funny, it's sad to see it go. I'll miss Anth Po." He basically unwrapped the college experience for so many kids out there, and when he got done with college, he just had to move on. Actually, digging into this story, I couldn't help but draw parallels to MatPat saying that being 37, he just felt like he'd outgrown his content in a way. Quitting was his way of transitioning into a new period in life. Lastly, just to emphasize how bad burnout can get, I have to mention that it's also the reason why Seth Everman quit. In his goodbye video, he talks of his depressive time living in a 25-room mansion, how expensive it was, and the fact that he just spent 95% of the time in the one room where his computer was. That loosely translates to spending 95% of his time making content for YouTube. And he confirms this by saying that he was in a constant state of stress and work. Everything became work. His home was work. Vacation had to be a vlog, and even the TV shows or the songs he heard all needed to be some sort of content. If I'd guess, that's probably how most creators survive. Anyway, an important thing that he mentions is how he ended up getting sort of addicted to all of it. The constant work mode became a mindset that he couldn't turn off. That's what made him realize this was not how he wanted to live any longer.
YouTube's golden era is officially dead. Well, it's more like the golden era of YouTubers is officially dead. I'm sure all of you are aware by now that MatPat is retiring from YouTube and is handing his channels over to other people. However, it's not just MatPat, but over the past year, other golden era YouTubers like Tom Scott, Meat Canyon, Dayan TDM, Stampy Longhead, Captain Sparkles, Moo, Seth Everman, and PewDiePie have, in some sense, either are retiring from YouTube or are stepping away full time. And it's no coincidence either that all of these massive inspirations have been deciding to clock out. There are obviously personal factors that contribute to each one, like burnout or boredom, and that comes naturally when you've been making content for years on end. Hell, I've only been working at a factory for about 8-ish months, and every time I clock in, my soul leaves my body and doesn't return until I leave that damn building. Anyway, burnout happens, and there's no changing that. However, if it was just burnout, then most YouTubers would simply take a break, or kind of change up how much they upload. Take Markiplier, for example. Back in the first few years of his channel, he used to upload a video twice a day. However, after doing this for some time, he announced that he would be switching over to trying to upload once a day, because he wasn't happy with the content he was producing. And that's what other YouTubers would do to solve this problem as well. They might not have done the exact same thing, or had the exact same scenario, but they did do something to combat their burnout. So then, what's different now? Why is it that over the past year, our favorite creators have decided to leave YouTube and move on to better things? What is this plague that has befallen upon everyone? Well, the answer is actually quite simpler than you might think. We can first find the answer by comparing modern day YouTube to older YouTube. YouTubers obviously earn a living by producing content for viewers to watch and enjoy. Ads appear on videos, which is what generates revenue for those who don't have merch or membership. I know, you hate ads, I myself hate ads, but for those who don't have the means yet to create other ways of obtaining revenue, they're necessary. Even when you skip them though, they still generate some money for the content creator, albeit not as much as compared to if you watch the whole thing. Now, why am I mentioning this? Well, when we look at modern day YouTube, the majority of the platform is children with short attention spans. That means, through the eyes of YouTube's algorithm and analytics, they're more likely to click on and watch shorter videos, or doom scroll through YouTube Shorts. That means more eyes on ads, and more likely that a kid will either ask his or her mom to buy whatever product is in the ad, or, if their parent's card is already on the phone, they'll just straight up purchase whatever it is. Now, when people do that, it generates more money for the content creator. However, they still have to keep their watch time up so the algorithm recommends the video to more people so they can get that money. So, how do they do that? In 2024, the answer is something we're all familiar with, and I think it's better if I showed you instead of describing it.
9/11 paranoia.
Brian, are you suggesting that 9/11 didn't change everything?
What?
Yeah, those. Shorts like those keep the attention span of those who doom scroll, which gives the content creators more money. Even in a normal video, unless you put in an edit every 2 seconds, then you're not keeping those eyes on the screen. But it didn't always used to be this way. Let's return back to the good old days of 2012 when everybody thought that the world was gonna end. On 2012 YouTube, the algorithm and way creators made money was much different. There were no YouTube shorts, there weren't a lot of fancy edits, there were videos that people watched for the creator. And that's the first piece of the puzzle to solve why the golden era YouTubers are leaving. Back then, you could record yourself having fun, playing a video game, raging with friends, getting jump scared by a spooky creature, and when you were done, you could do some basic editing and trim down the recordings and presto, there was the completed video. It didn't take days on end and a whole team to make what is essentially cinematic levels of content for your audience. It was just you, a game, and the camera. It was a wonderful time. People watched your videos, and not because of the post-production, but because of you and your personality. Obviously, the more editing you have in a video can make it better, but what I'm trying to say is you could be you and not have to cater to anyone or hire anyone to stay relevant. That's how creators like MatPat, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, Vanoss, and so many more beloved creators came into the spotlight. But what happens when you bring their videos and these creators into 2024? To simplify it as much as possible, they fail. I'm confident enough to claim that if you asked any of them, if they structured their videos now the same way they did back then, they would agree with me and say that they wouldn't be able to make it. Brain dead content is what fills a lot of YouTube, and they would say that they would rather quit than make videos like that. And that's puzzle piece number 2, and arguably the biggest one. These creators.
Alright, I got a bone to pick with YouTube, so I want you to watch this.
We are now stranded on a raft in the middle of the ocean. And there goes our boat. We are now stranded for 7 days. How much longer? 7 days. Frick.
And now I want you to watch this. I don't know about you, but I've been an avid YouTube viewer since the Casey Neistat daily vlogs, the BF vs GF Vitali prank era, the rise of FaZe Clan vs Optic, and even Captain Sparkle's Minecraft parody Incursion. And the feeling of watching those videos compared to those of Mr. Beast, Eric, Preston, and the many other Mr. Beastified YouTubers just feels different. Not to say it's a bad thing, because clearly they are doing something right, but I can't be the only one who feels this way. So first off, how did we get here? Well, in the early ages of YouTube, there used to be this raw, imperfect, almost hole-in-the-wall feeling that caused the platform to initially feel different than traditional TV. There was no such thing as being an influencer, brand deals, or even a creator fund. Granted, there was Google AdSense, it just wasn't nearly as glorified as it is now. This allowed people to start creating purely with the intentions of just creating something cool, being authentic, having fun with YouTube, and not just trying to hack the algorithm and maximize maximizing your AdSense dollars. And the best word I can describe this era of YouTube is pure. There was no correct way of creating, and it was purely with the intentions of just creating and having fun making videos. But once people started to catch on that YouTubers can make some serious cash, I think it's only been downhill from there. Now fast forward to the past couple years, it almost feels like YouTube is becoming more and more like traditional TV, where every single cut has to be 110% necessary. The pace must be lightning speed. The screen must always be moving and entertaining to the point where you barely remember what you just watched because you were so zoned in visually, audibly, and emotionally. In the YouTube community, this is oftentimes called the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. And don't get me wrong, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, although Casey Neistat thinks otherwise.
It's what I hate about YouTube. I call this like the Mr. Beastification of YouTube.
Mr. Beast is the most popular YouTuber for a reason. He figured out how to make the absolute most algorithmically best videos possible in order to keep you as engaged and entertained as possible. And in no way, shape, or form is this a bad thing. YouTube was designed for creators to entertain viewers. And if the creators can learn tactics to, keep you entertained and on the YouTube platform, and obviously YouTube wants to reward that because it means that the creators are keeping people on their platform. And at the end of the day, YouTube is a business. They need to make money to stay alive, and I just feel like this has gotten way out of hand until today. It's 2024. TikTok has absolutely ruined all of our attention spans to the point we can barely sit in silence for longer than 5 minutes. And I feel like enough people are starting to realize this to the point that YouTube is starting to reward creators who bring back that cozy, warm vibe YouTube used to be. Creators like Colt Kerwin and The Life of Rizza are the two best examples of this, and it just so happens they're dating. These two bring out that old YouTube vibe where quite literally they're creating for people, not an algorithm. Watch this.
Suitcase for the past month.
She literally didn't say a word for the first 31 seconds, and you're lying to yourself if you say that wasn't at least entertaining and peaceful to watch. And now, watch this.
This is a really small house. Less is more. Less is more. I once heard somebody smart say, less is more. It was me 2 seconds ago. And I want to find out if that's true. So I sent my friends to one of the biggest hotel rooms in the world. They're going to be seeing if more is more in tomorrow's video.
Yes, this is extremely entertaining to watch, but it's just too much. It's like too edited, and I can almost feel the algorithm, retention, optimization just screaming at me, which wholeheartedly feels fake. And this isn't throwing any shade towards the Mr. Beastified YouTubers. I just feel like people are growing out of this and missing the old, authentic, raw, just fun video viewing platform YouTube used to be. At the end of the day, the world swings in pendulums. We all desire change, but don't realize it until that desire has changed so much so that we want it to go back to how it used to be. And I think this is exactly what's happening with YouTube. The creators, just as much as the viewers, got tired of the same old YouTube to the point we wanted more entertaining videos similar to those of Mr. Beast. And not saying nobody wants his videos because he's quite literally breaking records with every upload. I just feel like we're swinging back into the good old days. And honestly, creating this video brings me so much peace knowing that I don't have to create the Mr. Beastified videos just to make a stance on this platform. I can continue staying true to myself and having fun when I press record, and I do believe that once my audience finds me, they will enjoy me for me. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, I bet you would find it interesting to see how last year on YouTube treated me, so you can click that here, and don't forget to subscribe.